everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious type of day today. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. You know, I've missed you guys so much. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I'm so sorry that it's been crazy with work and everything. And, you know, but it's like that whenever I work very, very, very long hours. So if you're new to my channel, I have about 2 or 3 jobs. So I'm working on quite a bit. So it's really hard for me to create content the way that I want to create it. So when I do it, I have to do it like all in a day. So it's a whole big story. But anyway, so if you guys are here to hear about my October favorites, which is finally here after all this time, then stick around and let's get going. Okay guys, so I'm excited to finally get to talk about some of these wonderful products that I discovered in October. So we're just gonna dive right into it. Let's go into some palettes first, okay? So first of all, I want to talk about the Natasha Denona upside down, the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. Such a beautiful, beautiful palette. You have such a beautiful color story in here. You have really beautiful autumn shades in here, plus with some berry shades, more of a natural day look. And then you have some for more drama, if you want to add a little drama to it. Absolutely stunning palette, really beautiful. Pigment is beautiful, blends really beautifully. I particularly love these shades over here. They're so beautiful, and I love this shade as well. This is a really, really good palette. So if you did get to pick this up to the Sephora sale, or if you haven't got a chance to pick it up, or maybe want to get it for a Christmas present, this is really, really great. It's pretty much right up there along with the Huda Beauty palette to me. They're both very similar. And speaking of, we now have the Huda Beauty palette as well. She is really stunning. This has just been a joy to have. If you guys have not checked this out, if you are in Sephora, I would definitely take a look at it and take a glance at it. I love this palette. I love the theme about this palette. It screams October to me. It screams holiday to me. It screams a lot of, you can use this all year round, but it really fits this time of year. And I just think it's just a really beautiful palette. It's a beautiful palette of blends of mattes and metallics and really beautiful foils. You know, the only 2 things that I would worry about with these two, there are 2 cream shades in this one, like in the Patrick Ta palette. In the Patrick Ta palette, he has like 2 ones that you can use as a base, or you can use them as cream liner. You can also do that with Huda's. I would just say that if you use it as cream liner, just be really, really careful, because I would just put it on as liner. I wouldn't put anything over top of it. I would do it as liner and kind of leave it. You can try to set it with one of the shadows if you want to, but don't put anything over top of it, because if you do, or if you use it as a base there, and it would it would mess up the rest of the shadow, so it would make it patchy. So just be careful with the creams a little bit, because they are a little bit tacky and they do have a little tack to them. But all in all, guys, this palette is just really beautiful. I'm so glad that I got to pick it up. And both of them, they're both, some of them are a little similar. They have a little shade, some similar shades in it, and some are not. This is a little different for Natasha for most of her palettes, because I have most of her palettes. But this is it's just a really good palette to have. They're both just different. This one's a little bit more gold, a little bit more, it's got some cools in it and some warms, just like this one does. They're just different. They're just different palettes, but they're both really beautiful. And I would definitely recommend having them in your collection. Okay, so moving onward, we're going into the, this is the Nomad palette. Absolutely gorgeous. This is the Hudson Valley. It's by Nomad Cosmetics. They were so wonderful to me. I do have a code down below if you guys want to check it out for 10% off. They have a holiday palette out already. I did not pick up the holiday palette, but I'm thinking I may be on their PR list next season. So next year, every palette that they come out with, I will be able to share with you guys, because the pigments in these palettes, cannot tell you, they're just insane. Such a beautiful palette. Absolutely gorgeous. So beautiful. The mattes, they're all mattes except for this row here. These are the metallics. Everything else is mattes. The font and the on it when you first get it is absolutely beautiful. The whole story behind it actually mimics a place that's actually in Hudson Valley. They actually took the ideas from places in Hudson Valley. So I consider this palette a very personal palette, as well as a very deep embodied palette with a lot of rich, beautiful tones in it. They are so beautiful. I still haven't got to really play a lot with these tones here, but these are I have got to play with, and they are super, super beautiful. I can't wait to play with these. I'm hoping to maybe possibly do a look with it before fall is over, or maybe during the holidays, because that would be a really beautiful green tone. You know, I've got like one or two other palettes to talk about, but I mean, but it is a really beautiful palette. I definitely would pick this up if you get the chance. It's only, I think she's around $39. And then if you get 10% off, and then and it comes to you really, really quickly. But this is a really wonderful palette if you're looking for something for fall, or if you like those tones all year round. It's a beautiful one to pick up. Second, so let me say, so I have not bought many palettes this year. I've been not on a no buy for not buying palettes. I just have not been, there's not been very many that I've been interested in. And so I bought a few here and there, but not a lot. I've just kind of backed up on palettes. I mean, because I don't use a lot of eyeshadow on a day-to-day basis, and I just haven't really picked up a lot. I've been doing a lot more with, you know, complexion and things like that. So I haven't really done a lot with shadow palettes. So, but this fall, I have definitely picked up quite a few. So with that said, there are 3 palettes that I have not got to use, and they're not really a favorite, but I wanted to do like an honorable mention in here because I have got to play with some of the pigments in them, and they are just absolutely stunning, and I just wanted to mention them really quickly. This is Teresa is Lethal. This is from the creator Teresa is Dead. If you've not checked out her channel, you definitely need to go over and check her out. She is absolutely hysterical. She is so funny. She's very witty. She's very smart. She's very intelligent. Beautiful, beautiful human being. Absolutely gorgeous inside. Beautiful face. She's just adorable. So adorable. And she loves to say the cuss word, so I'm just going to throw that out there. She says it at the beginning of each one of them. If you're not a fan of the curse words, then don't watch her. But she's so funny, and she's so wonderful. And she's also a really good friend of my good friend Tara Lynn. But anyway, she came out with a collaboration with Lethal Cosmetics, and I have never purchased anything from Lethal Cosmetics before. I did recently just do a eye look. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I did an eye look, and also that came with the collection was she came out with these pot liners. I actually have owned this liner here, and I did a brown over top of it. This is like a plum brown kind of it's like a, no, sorry, like not a plum brown, but more of a plummy kind of a red, almost a red berry color. And it looks really beautiful with this look. And they are very, very long wearing. They are like virtually waterproof. They will not come off. They stay on a really long time. But she came out with one of these in a green shade. And then she came out with this palette. I have not got to use this yet, but I just wanted to mention it to you guys because it is super, super cute. I can't wait to play with it. They're so cute, so cute. The pigment in it, they feel really incredible. I've only touched them a little bit, so I've got to play with them. So I'm hopefully to do something, not really a review, but maybe like just to get ready with me using these shades because they're so much fun and they're really beautiful. But I just want to give that shout out to Teresa and them for this cute, super, super cute collection. She came out with like, there were some highlighters that went with it, and there were some other things that went with the collection. I only got the shadow palette, and I got this, but I just wanted to throw that out there too because it is a super cute collection. And then with that said, 2 more honorable mentions is the Tarte Man-Eater palette. I played to death in the store. I've really played with this quite a bit. Actually love this palette. It is so beautiful. I've just not got to really use it yet. So I'm hoping to use this before Thanksgiving for you guys. But it is like a holiday. It's like a holiday and a fall palette together. So you have like all these really beautiful shades in it. And when I tell you guys, the swatches in these are just absolutely beautiful. The pigment is really beautiful. They pick up really nicely. I mean, all of the shades are just so gorgeous. I mean, just the foils are they have a very wet look to them. I mean, they have some beautiful metallics in here, beautiful rose tones, neutral tones, fall tones. You have a black in here. It gives you like everything all in one palette, and it's just really beautiful. Love the packaging. It's a really pretty one. I picked this up at Ulta. It's exclusive to Ulta only. I don't think they have have it in Sephora. I think it was only for Ulta only and on the Tarte website. But I think the palette was, I think it's like $45. But if you have like Ulta points, or if you have some, you know, if you possibly you can get a discount on it. And I know that Tarte does discounts too. So if you're looking for a really good palette for you or for someone else, this is a really good one. And this one's a good all year round palette because it's got like so many really pretty tones in it. And you can go from fall to winter to spring with this one. It's just really super beautiful. And then my last but not least is the bPERFECT. This is the Carnival palette. It's called the Antidote. And it was with the collaboration with Stacey Marie. This palette, guys, is just, can I just tell you, it is gorgeous. And it's probably the most shadow you're ever going to see in your lifetime. But it is insane, the shadows in this. It's insane. Look at these. Look at all these. You get all of this in one palette. And I think the palette was, I want to say she was around $65. I think it's $65 or something like that. But it is absolutely gorgeous. And the pigment in it is really beautiful. I mean, let me just show you just this orange, the spice coral. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. That is so beautiful. This and the rich, they feel really pigmented. Look at that. Look how they're crushed up. It is really beautiful. You guys would really, this is pretty. So you got your mauves here, you got some neutral tones, you got greens here, you have some yellows, you have a couple pearlescent, some whites, then you have a lot of your autumn tones over here with more berry shades here. Again, it's another palette that you can use all year round, although it looks really like a fall palette, but really it's one that you can use. It's a lot of shadow, so this would be for someone that would be great, like a makeup artist like me, and you want to use it for makeup artistry. It would be really great because you've got like a lot in the one palette and you can do quite a bit with a lot of it. You know, but for someone that's a little starter, or maybe that may be a little bit overwhelming, you know, but it is a really beautiful palette and it's just a really good job, and they did a really beautiful job. I can't wait to use it. I just have not got to play with it yet. So with that said, I think I got most of my palettes, my eye palettes out of the way. So we're going to go over one face palette and then we're going into something else, as well, another palette as well. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a face palette. So this is the Patrick Ta face palette. This is his holiday palette. Last year he came out with another one as well. It had a really pretty bubblegum pink in it. It had a really bright kind of like a coral color, and then he had like this really pretty like brown plum shade in it, and the cream blush, and it has the powder blush. So this one this year is the one that he came out with this year. It has pink, and then it has your cream on the top, and then it has the peach, and then it has highlighter, and then there's a cream on the top. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this palette. It's a really pretty, it's still pretty. It's still a pretty palette. The only thing is that, first of all, I think it's very inclusive. His other one last year was a little bit more exclusive, so you could definitely, everybody could kind of participate with it. It just depended on the pigment and how you put it on. This one, the pigment is still there, especially in the blushes. In the creams, they're not, though. The creams are more like balms, so they're not like his typical cream blush. His typical cream blush has a little bit more of a, it's got a little bit more pigment to it, and it kind of just gives like this little bit of a glow. These are more like, they're definitely like a balm. Like they're like this really more, I want to say Vaseline-y, but they've got more of that kind of sticky feel to them as far as the balms go. They're nothing like the ones that he came out with last year. These are almost like, it's just like this really balm. Now, I don't mind them. I mean, they're pretty good on me because I'm so dry. But if you're not dry in your combination, and you're oily or you're normal, you're gonna stick, and it's gonna stick to your face. It's gonna stick to your, you know, your hair is going to stick to it. Everything is going to stick. But the pigment and the blushes are pretty good. They're not bad. They're just very light to me. So if I was you, I would pass on this palette. It's one of the, it's not honestly it's a fail. It's just one of those that, it's just not necessary. I mean, if you've got some of his single blushes or you have last year's palette, I wouldn't bother picking this one up. It's just not, it's not worth your time or your money. So one thing that I've been using a lot of this month, and if you guys have watched my Chanel Sublimage Concealer video, you will know that I use this quite a bit. This is the RCMA makeup palette, and this is with, it's with Kenniff James Bennett. They collaborated with him on this one. You can actually buy this palette without all of the shades in it, but this palette has shade that you can mix together, you can contour with, you can use concealer, you can use a foundation, you can do all things. But this is what I've been using a lot of. So you have a blue, you have a red, you have a yellow, you have a white, and you have, this is more of like it's more of like almost like a primer, like a base, or you can make it more emollient to blend in with the makeup to make it a little bit more softer. And then there's a black shade in here too. So I use a lot of these to color correct my foundations and my concealers. So if I want to make them a little lighter or make them a little darker, I can do that. I have promised you guys a video with that. It will come eventually. I'm so sorry. Sorry, my hair. Fix my hair a minute. I'm just so sorry that I have not got the chance to do it yet, but it will come and we will get it. It will happen between November and December. I just don't know when. But we will definitely try to get it in there because I do want to get this in so you guys can see, because I think it would help save you guys a little money, sometimes when you just don't want to have to go out and buy a new foundation or a new concealer. If you're in between shade, if you're in between your tan shade and maybe your lighter shade in the winter, it just saves you from having to go out and buy one. It doesn't take the place of a foundation or concealer, but it's just really great and it's great to have. So I've really been reaching for this a lot. So this one's been a favorite. It's not been anything new, but it's something that I've always had. But they do sell these shades here. They sell all of these individually. It sells it in its own little palette, so you don't need the great big one if you don't want to. It's just great to have, especially if you're a makeup artist, because you can use so many of those for contour and you can use so many of those for foundation and concealer and stuff too, and as well as using the corrective shade to help to make them a little darker or a little lighter. And last but not least, another favorite that I've had, and again, this is not a new product, this is an older product. I got it last year. And this is the Jeffree Star. This is the Sacred Glass. It is the highlights. These highlights are just, they're out of this world. They are extraterrestrial, as Teresa is Dead would say, extraterrestrial, slutty highlight. Look at that. Look at that. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Look how beautiful that is. He still sells this palette. It's still on his website. It's also on Beautylish. That is who I'm affiliated with. I don't have a code with him on his particular site, but I do have one with Beautylish. They still sell these. I want to say they're around $35 or $40, but the casing is absolutely gorgeous. I know a lot of people are not super crazy about Jeffree Star. I know he has his issues and problems and stuff as well as anyone else does. But the reason why we're discussing him today is not because of him, but because of his product. Because he does have bomb-ass product. I mean, I will give that to the man. The man he's a genius as far as I'm concerned. His pigment is amazing. His textures are beautiful. They last all day. They feel really beautiful. And if you want a really beautiful, beaming, super highlight, this is like really gorgeous. You can use it on the eyes, lips, anywhere, and it looks absolutely spectacular. Every time I wear it, I get so many compliments on it. And I have worked quite a bit this past month. So I definitely would recommend it if you're looking for a really good beaming highlight. And with that said, guys, now we are ready to dive into some other makeup. Okay, so we've got foundations, we've got some concealers, we've got a lot going on. But we're gonna go into the concealer first because I feel like we need to talk about that first. So if you all know that I've already reviewed this and been the Beautiful Skin by Charlotte Tilbury, and absolutely I love it. But you know what? I found another favorite to mix with it, and that is the new Chanel Sublimage Concealer. I have this in 02, so it is a very, very light shade. If you've not seen my video, I got it when it kind of popped up, and they put it up, and then they took it down, and then they put it back up again, and then they came out with 13 shades. Therefore, I didn't get the shade. I got the palest one. So it's a very, very, very fair color. So it's got this very, very fair color to it. So I had to actually mix it with my RCMA palette to give me a little bit more color. But what I've learned to do is I've been taking this and mixing it with my tan, which is great on my skin, but underneath my eyes it's a little too dark. But I've been mixing it together, and it's been a great combination. I have it on like that now underneath my eye area, and I absolutely love it. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely alone though, I will say this Chanel concealer is gorgeous. It is a really beautiful concealer. If you're dry and you have dry eyes and you like treatment in your concealer and you like a good concealer that's going to stay all day, that won't crease in your lines, if you want something that's going to be soft and moist, you just have to be careful with it. It is pigmented. It's got a lot of pigment in it, or it's got a lot of coverage. You just got to be careful with it. A little bit of it goes a long way. The only thing I hate about it is the packaging. I absolutely hate it because, you know, it's just like, it's got this little lid up in it and it's very goopy and it just gets really gross. If you are looking for a really good concealer, that if you are over the ages of like 40, 45, and you're realizing that your concealer is really creasing a lot or your eyes are really dry and you need a really good concealer, I mean, it is expensive. She's $95. She's not cheap, but it will take you a very, very long time to get through this. It will. So, and it comes with a really super cute little brush, and the brush works really well too for it to be a brush that comes with something. It actually is worth keeping and worth using, but it is a great concealer. And mixed, if you have Charlotte Tilbury and you want to mix it together, it is great. I will say if you do have this, you probably don't need this because they're very similar. This is a little bit more moist than the Charlotte Tilbury, but they're very similar in the way that they look and the way that they feel. That's why I kind of pair them together, but it is a great concealer after all. Now we're going to talk about let's talk a little bit about nail polish. So I have really been diving into the nail field probably since September. I've really been playing with nail products. I've just seen a lot of guys wear nail polish and I just thought it was really cool. And then Harry Styles kind of started wearing it, and I don't know, I just kind of started getting this thing where I just wanted to start wearing nail polish. So I started wearing it, and like today I have on, this is the Chanel, this is the Clair de Lune. I have it on right now, and it is really super beautiful. Such a beautiful color. It's really pretty. This is for the holidays. So Chanel is like some of the best nail polish. Let me tell you. I know that there are a lot of people that do gel nails. They do more of a gel nail. And I know that you can't use regular polish with a gel nail. But I do want to say, if you don't do a gel nail and you do wear regular nail polish, the Chanel is a very thicker formula, but let me tell you, and the pain is letting it dry. Once it just takes forever to dry, but once it dries, it stays on all week long. Like, it does not come off. It's really hard to chip. It's really hard to get it to come off. It stays on really, really well. So it is a super good nail polish. It's worth the $30. I will say that I like Dior's nail polish too, because I work for Dior, but unfortunately Dior's nail polish does not last as long as Chanel does. I don't know what's in it. I don't know why, but Dior's will last about 3 or 4 days on me. It doesn't last as long. This one will last me all week and then some, but I absolutely love this shade. I also have this shade. This is Infinity. I have it as well, and I love the shade Desire. I have Desire as well. This is really beautiful, 947. It is super, super gorgeous. And with that said, going into nails, I've also discovered the world of OPI, which I've always seen around, but I've never really wore their nail polish before, but it is really good too. And it also stays on really, really well all day. And I use the base coat and the top coat usually with the Chanel. I do have the top coat in the Christmas holiday too, the gold shimmer. I mean, it looks pretty I don't have it over top of this one, but it does look really pretty over top of one. But most of the time I use the clear in the OPI, which is like I think it's step number 3. But this is a beautiful holiday shade. This is the shade, it's called Bring Out the Big Gems. Sorry, Big Gems. And it's really beautiful. If you can see, it's got this really cool reflection of all these different undertones in the polish. And then this one's also called, then there's another one called Rhinestone Red. Look how beautiful that is. It looks like almost like a ruby slipper from Wizard of Oz. How pretty is that? It's so beautiful. But I've got a couple of their nail polishes and I've worn them quite a few times. And they are super, super good nail polishes. And I've really, really enjoyed them. But again, the base coat and the top coat, they actually sell them now in a little kit where you can get the base, the base coat, the top coat, and you know, and I think there's one other thing in there, or maybe just the two of them together in a little kit. But you can get those, and they sell them at Ulta, and they also sell them. I think they sell some at Sally's. I think they sell some at Target. At Target, they don't have like a lot of the shades, but at Ulta, they have quite a few of the shades, and you can also go online, and you can also order it from their website as well. But they're just a really great nail polish altogether, and even mixing with the Dior and the Chanel, it does make it last a little bit longer, and I have really been enjoying that, and it has been making my nails stay on a lot longer, and I've really been enjoying the nail polish thing. I'm still playing with it, so I'm still trying to learn how to do it and everything, because I've been doing it myself. I did go for about the first 2 weeks getting someone to do it for me, and then I just realized that I could do it on my own and save myself a little bit of money. So I've just been kind of doing it. It just takes some time, but I have been enjoying it, and I do really like it, and I think it does feel really good, and I have enjoyed it. So next we're going to talk about some lips. So let's talk about some lips, shall we? So first of all, I'm going to talk about this beautiful holiday shade from Dior. This is the Christian Dior. This is from the holiday collection. It's 965 Rouge Fortune, and it has a velvet finish to it, and they're $44, so they're not cheap. But look how beautiful this shade is. It is so pretty. It's like this beautiful deep blue red type color. They also came out with this shade called Winter Poppy last year, and it was it's not exactly the same shade as this one is. I think they just changed the name and they made it the same thing, but it's absolutely stunning. It looks really beautiful on the lips. If you're looking for a really good red lipstick, but you don't want anything that's not too orangey or too brown, but you want that really pretty blue with almost like it's got this pretty almost berry undertone to it, it's absolutely stunning. I can't even tell you, it's so gorgeous. And then another one is this beautiful shade by Christian Audette. It's called Brave. Sorry, I've got like stuff all over it. It's called Brave. It was it's in part with breast cancer awareness, and all the proceeds go to breast cancer awareness when you purchase it. But it is also a really beautiful, it's just really pretty deep rose color. It's got a little berry in it and a little hint of red in it, but it's just a really beautiful pink color. It's just more on the deeper side, but it's a really beautiful deep pink. So if you're looking for a really good deep pink for the holidays, or if you want to help support a really good cause, this is a really good lipstick anyway. It says so good, and you can use it with a lip liner or without a lip liner, and they stay on really well. Just make sure you put it on a dry lip, but it's so good. And also these beautiful lip liners from Lisa Eldridge. I have never got to try Lisa Eldridge's lip liners. I've always been a big fan of her lipsticks and her other products, her Seamless Skin, her Elevated Glow, which I absolutely love. I love that one. I love her foundation. I've not got to try the eyeshadows. She just came out with eyeshadows. I have not got to try those yet. We may eventually get there. I just, with my budget, I've just not been able to really afford to, I bought Mel's bundle that she came out with Sydney Grace. I got that instead. So I have to do little things at a time. But she has these really beautiful eyeshadows that she just came out with. But she also came out with some new lip liners. These are not part of that collection, but this is the shade Cinnabar. And then this is also the shade Decade. So they're both, one is like a deep chocolate brown plum, and one is like a very brown orange base color. I have the Cinnabar lipstick that goes with this lip liner, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. And I also love the Decade liner. It is really beautiful too. They're like a soft matte liner. They do stay on very well. Once they dry, they stay on very well. They do not travel anywhere. They're very similar to the Christian Audette lip liners. They stay on really well. They go on creamy, but then yet once the dry down starts, it stays on really well. They don't travel. They don't make your lips go anywhere. You can fill your lips in with them really well and do a gloss and call it a day, and they'll stay on really well. The gloss may not stay on as long. The gloss stays on a little bit longer, but it won't stay on completely, but the liner will still stay. But they're just great lip pencils, and they're a little bit, I think they're only $25 $25 or $28 for the lip pencils, but they are really good. They are worth a check out. And she has many shades in these. So these aren't the only shades she has, but she has quite a few. And most of them even pair with an actual lipstick. So if there's a shade that you like, you might actually find a lipstick to go with it or a gloss. And then I've got 2 blushes to share with you guys. And the one blush is the Giorgio Armani. This is the Neo Nude Melting Balm for cheeks and eyes, and this is in the shade 30. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's so pretty. My girlfriend Tara Lynn, you know, talked about her earlier, about when Teresa's dead. She is the one that got me hooked on this. Absolutely love it. It's such a beautiful shade. I have it as underneath as a base on this particular look, and it looks so pretty. It's just a beautiful, soft, autumnish type kind of color. If you like a lot of nude colors, but it's kind of creamy, but then it goes into a matte, so it doesn't stay creamy, and it doesn't feel greasy, or it doesn't go anywhere. And the pigment is really great, and it's very buildable too. It's just a great product to pick up. They're very limited on the shades in this though. It's been hard to get the shades. I know that in store, Armani's been having an issue with a lot of their stock and everything, but this shade's been sticking around. The other ones are a little harder to find, but this is a great formula. And another formula that has been discontinued, that no longer is made, but I did find it on Amazon. I did. And it is on Amazon, and you can pick it up and probably get it a lot cheaper on Amazon. Now, is it an older product? Yes. I mean, will it probably be not as fresh? Probably. But, I mean, you can still, I mean, it's a beautiful blush. So this is the, I don't know if you guys remember the nude line that Dior had, but this is the Nude Luminizer Blush. And I actually found mine in a store. There was a store that, one of my stores had one left, and I actually bought it. But this is the Nude Luminizer by Dior. Look how beautiful this is. It is so pretty. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that berry is with that really beautiful sheen to it. Absolutely stunning. I hope that Dior, when they come out with the new blushes in spring, that they have some similar to this, because this is just a beautiful texture. It's just so pretty, but I love the shade. I just think it's really pretty. It's called, the name of the shade, it's 11, and it doesn't really say on that shimmering blush. It's just shade 11. But it's really beautiful. And it's, like I said, I did find it. It is on Amazon. I will leave the link down below if you're really interested in it. I don't know how many of those that they have. I don't know how old they are either. Mine is great because I got it in the store. They still just had a few left over. I don't know how long it had been sitting in the store, but it still works really beautifully. So but again, on Amazon, you know, sometimes you take a chance on stuff. But I did find it for you guys. So if you are interested in this color, I did find it for you. So it is down there in my links down below. And now we are ready to go on our last little adventure, and that is into the wonderful world of primers and foundations. So let's dive into it. We're ready to dive into some primers, and then we'll get into some foundation. Okay, so I found some little discoveries. One is one that I've always had. I've just been using it a lot more lately. And then one is one that is a newer to me product that came out not too long ago, and that is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. And I think these run around $14.99. They are selling these at Target now. You can also pick them up on the e.l.f. website as well. I don't know if Ulta's carrying them. I'm sure they are. They are always out of stock though. It's hard to find your shade in it because they're always out. They get it back in stock and then it runs out of stock again. So, but they are absolutely fantastic. This is what it looks. So the doe foot is this big. Look how big it is. And then it is exactly, if not the same thing as the Charlotte Tilbury. And it's $14.99. And the Charlotte Tilbury, I think, is around... She's around the 50-something range, I think. It's almost $50 for one of hers. And hers is always out of stock, too. You can't find any of her light shades. It's been horrible with the Flawless Filter. You can't get any light shades at all. Sometimes you can find a couple of the dark shades, but you can never find any of the lighter shades or the medium shades. She's always out. But that is what it looks like on the skin. It makes your skin look gorgeous. It's so freaking pretty. And I have this one is in the shade medium 4. Shade 4 medium. Absolutely gorgeous. I want to pick up one a little bit lighter so I can use it around my eyes, because I love using this sometimes without using any foundation. And I do like having a little lighter one to put up underneath my eyes and then one around my face. So this is, but it's just a gorgeous product, guys. It goes great underneath foundation. It's great on top of foundation. It has no smell to it. There's no anything in it. And I want to say, I'm not sure if it's oil-free or not, but it says it has squalene and hyaluronic acid in it. It's skin enhancing. It's a soft focus effect. I mean, you can't go wrong with this product. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, this has been like the best $14 you've ever spent. So I'm just telling you, if you're in Target or you're in one of those areas that have e.l.f. and you happen to look over and see it, grab one, try it out for yourself. You won't be disappointed. Or you can click down below. I'll have the link for it down below, and you can check it out there as well. So hopefully they will be in stock when you do. I will look before I put the link up and make sure that they are in stock for you guys. And if it's not, I will tell you. But definitely give it a check out because it's worth it. Okay, so just by the way, guys, if you guys are wondering what I have on my lips right now, this is this is a color that they say that Audrey Hepburn wore in the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, and that is Revlon, and that is called Pink in the Afternoon, and it is just a really beautiful salmon pink coral color. It's so pretty. It's just really beautiful. I just thought it would look really cute with this because I didn't want to go too orangey and I didn't want to go too dark with this. I was going to do a very chocolate lip with it, but I decided to do this, and I paired it with this beautiful queen gloss that I have. It's called Divine Aura. I did a little bit of that over top of it, but it's just a really beautiful lip combination. And I love that lipstick. I love the way it feels too. It's very creamy and it feels really nice. So now we are going on to my other primer, and that is the LOreal, listen to me, the LOreal by Guerlain. And this is, it is a beautiful, beautiful primer. As you can see, it has a little gold flecks in it. When you put it on, it makes your skin feel a little tacky. So it gives a little tackiness to it, but it gives this beautiful aura to the skin, and it makes foundation stick to it really, really well. Back in the day, back in 2015 or 16, this was the big deal. It was right up there with the Sicily primer, the one that everybody went bananas over, that's like $150. This one's not as bad. This one's like, it's still pricey, but she's not as bad as that one. This one's around 70-ish. But it's just a really good primer. It lasts a very, very long time. You only need a little bit of it, but it makes your skin look so pretty. And with that said, going from Guerlain, let's talk about 2 Guerlain foundations that I discovered in the month of October. One is the Pure Gold Skin, and this is in the Rejuvenating, and this one is the Radiant one, and then this one is in the matte version. Both of these foundations together are so beautiful, and when you mix them together, oh my God, they're so pretty. So pretty. They're so pretty. They look so good. When you put them on, your skin looks so like radiant, but not matte, but it's kind of like the satin mixture when you mix them together. You know, separate. One is more hydrating and a little bit more dewy, and one is a little bit more skin loving, but it's not like this super matte. It's like it has like a little bit of like a glow to it still. It still has that like a glow matte type formula. You know, but I got mine from overseas. They do not carry these over in the US yet. It's not on the Guerlain site yet here in the US. I got it from Selfridges, which I will leave the code down below. But you can join Selfridges, and you can, I think it's like $50 for a year, and you can get free shipping. So you won't have to worry about, because if you don't, then if you buy this just by itself, then the shipping will cost you like almost more than the foundation. The shipping from overseas in London is a lot. So it's kind of worth it if you're interested, or if you buy a lot of luxury stuff, because Selfridges comes up with a lot of luxury items first and before anybody else does. So it's kind of nice to have. But anyway, it's just, they're both beautiful foundations. If you are a fan of the, I actually have it up here on my shelf back there. It was the Lingerie de Peau. Then you will love this one. They're very similar. This one's still just a little bit more glowier than that one. That one was a little bit more natural with the glow in it. This one's a little bit more glowier. But this one is just really beautiful by itself too, guys. It reminds me a lot of the Dior Forever Matte. It's just exactly like it. And this one's even more glowier than the Dior Skin Glow. That one is still, to me, a little bit more natural. This one's got more glow to it. So if you're dry, this one will be really good. If you're normal, even dry, if you don't want a lot of shine, you may really like this. If you use like a really beautiful primer and highlight and stuff with it, it'll give you a really pretty glow. Because everybody always asks me, it's like, well, your skin's glowing. And I'm like, well, I'm using a matte foundation today, but it is so pretty. And it goes great with the Dior Forever matte powder, the velvet powder. Oh my God, it's a beautiful combination together. Works great. And then last but not least, we have one more foundation, and that is the Yves Saint Laurent, and it is the All Hours foundation, the Luminous Matte. Again, I got this from Selfridges. I got it overseas. I got it and literally put the video up, and I think it dropped in the United States like 2 days after I put the video up. So it literally went on to Sephora. So that was just freaky luck that happened. But mine has like an SPF 39 in it. The one that is in the US has an SPF 30, but the shades are the same. I think there's anywhere between, I can't remember if it was like 30 or 40 shades, but there's quite a few shades to choose from. This is a gorgeous foundation, guys. It's super, super pretty. The shade is a little off for me. This is in MN5. I should have gotten one a little bit darker, but or maybe a different shade range. But of course, you know, I couldn't go into store and pick it up and look at it or whatever. So I had to go by whatever the chart said. It's still different from the one that I had previously before. So, I mean, so definitely I would check this out in store and make sure that the shade matches you before you buy the foundation if you decide you want it. If you use the older formula and you were more oily, the older formula was more matte. This one's definitely, it's a matte, but it's like I said, it's a luminous, but it's definitely got a luminosity to it. Like oily skins, I mean, you still can use it, but I mean, you're going to be glowy by the end of the day. We'll just put it that way. You'll be hoey and glowy by the end of the day. Hey, because it definitely gives a luminosity and it will come out by the end of the day if you're oilier. Now, if you're dry, it's still going to look matte on you. So, I mean, so you will have to make it look luminous. I've also mixed it with this one in particular. I've mixed these two together. They work really beautifully together. Even though YSL is a L'Oreal own brand and this one is a Dior own, it is a Louis Vuitton of LVMH own brand. It's still, they work really beautiful together. They're both French. They both have that same kind of texture and feel to them. It does have a little bit of a smell. It's just like the Guerlain. They both have a smell to them, but it's just a really good foundation. And I've really enjoyed using it so far because I really love the older one. It's just, it's a holy grip for me. That's the older bottle right there. I won't let go of it. I haven't really used it. I did mix a little bit of the old one with this one to see, and it did mattify it a little bit more because that shade is a little bit more darker. So I mixed them together and they worked out really well together. I wouldn't probably suggest using that one because that bottle now is probably, it's just maybe over a year and a half. It's not too old, I think, but I think it's just about to expire or it has expired. So, you know, I wouldn't probably suggest to do that. But I mean, but sometimes, you know, we're horrible. We keep expired makeup. I mean, we can't all be perfect. It's hard, especially when you spend like, you know, $60, $65 or, you know, you spend like, you know, a certain amount of money on foundation. It's really hard for you to want to just give it up all, you know, just throw it out. You know, but with that said, guys, that is it. We are done. I mean, what do you guys think? Have you got any, what was your favorite for October? I'm so sorry that this is getting out so late. I know that it's the end of, they're probably like, Lord, Gabe, it's like time for November. I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's like, but trust me, we're going to have some stuff in November. So we're not going to have to worry about that. I just wanted to get this out because I didn't want to wait till put October and November together because it would have been like a really, really long video. And this is already long enough. So anyway, with that said, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me. If you love this kind of video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you you have not, because we would love to have you a part of our little family here, because we do have a family here. We have a great community. We have a very good, positive, wonderful experience and loving community here. I'm just going to tell you guys too, if you ever see me on shorts, that is not our community typically. That is a whole nother ball game. So those people will leave comments that are not normal comments that we normally see in my box. So if you happen to be on a short and you see a comment, you know, just know that that's not our normal. It's a different ball game on short. So just throwing that out there to you. But anyway, we would love to have you. And by the way, and you know, if you didn't like the video, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I know. I just have to say, you know, thanks for sticking around this long. If you stuck around this long, and if you give it a thumbs down, at least, hey, you watched it. Okay, guys, so remember, you know, be safe, be strong, be proud, stand tall. Remember to tell somebody that you love them today, because life is way too short. Remember to also to be kind to someone today, because a little kindness can go off a long way. And most importantly, don't forget to laugh today. Don't forget to smile today. Don't forget to have a little bright sunshine today, you know, because sometimes a little smile, a little thing, you know, that could just make or break your whole week. You know, so make sure you laugh today. That just helps with stress, helps with a lot of different things. So just putting it out there. And, you know, and we will see you guys again in the next episode, which I promise there'll be more right after this one. So anyway, take care, and we will see you again soon. Bye.